Hello, everyone. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. I hope you all are having a great day. The purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also like to give a shout out to my moderators. You are the best to ever do it, bar none. Don't let nobody tell you any different. Appreciate everything that you do. Today we're going to be talking about Roland Martin. Y'all know who Roland Martin is. Saying that Blacks need to stop listening to liars in the community. And of course, we'll get a little bit more into specifics when I show you a short clip of the video that I have seen, I should say, in the public domain. So I just want to put that out there, fair use and all that other good stuff. But in the meantime, let's see who we have on here before I give it to Donovan. Unicorn Squad, what's going on with y'all? And I've read your comment before I went live. One Who Cares, how you doing? Thank you so much. African Native. Tracy, you made it on time. Sister Shirley, what's going on? Clifford, I hope you're doing well. Solo, how are you? H. McDaniel, what is up? One Unique, Monique, hello, hello. And Craig, hope that you're having a great day. Donovan.
Hey, welcome you guys. It is 3 o'clock here in California. That means it's Demetra K time. Great to have you guys back with us. A lot of you guys have been rocking with us for a very long time, and we are so appreciative. Do us a favor. It's absolutely free. We're not going to ask you for $1. I've never asked my supporters for $1. I said not $1. But you can hit the like button. It's absolutely free. It helps the algorithm and keeps everything going, and it gets the video out there. And if you guys share this on your platforms and your groups, gets the message out there even more, because as we see, the Democratic Party is still out there hollering and screaming, but still have no plan. So we have a scrolling red banner at the bottom there. And if you guys want to continue to help have these great conversations, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Cash Money Order, and all the other great stuff that you guys can do it. For those of you guys that continue to support us, thank you so much. Those that support us in the future, thank you so much. Also, do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. A lot of stuff's going on in the diaspora. We've got to pay attention. We have got to pay attention. So this Roland Martin is a trending topic. He's trying to be relevant to the new generation of people that don't know him. And again, us simple Simons, we got to start listening to the people like Roland Martin, because they're the truth. What they say is the truth, even though everything he said in the last election, everything he said that was going to happen to Black people has not happened yet. Tariffs have not collapsed the economy yet. Notice what I said. I'm prefacing yet. But what's that? Plan 2025. No slave patrols. Black people aren't enslaved. Black people aren't being beaten in the street. Jennifer Lewis, they're going to shoot you in the back. None of this stuff is happening. But we're the liars. So where's the lie in what I'm saying? Let's get into it.
Yes, indeed. And hello to everybody. I'm reading y'all comments, and some of them I cannot put up here, but I see them nevertheless. So anyway, I saw this video trending. Well, it wasn't trending. I just kind of saw it a few places, and it looks like that it aired on his show, the Roland Martin Unfiltered show, about 3 days ago. And in this particular portion of it, he was talking about the evils that's happening now under the Trump administration. And specifically, he was talking about voting and not listening to certain people telling us not to vote. So I'm going to play this video and then be right back. Wallen, how you doing? Wellen, rather. And Mr. Hutch, how you doing? Here we go.
Y'all people, and I'm going to say it right now, and I don't care. Y'all need to stop listening to Umar Johnson. Y'all need to stop listening to Tariq Nasheed. Y'all need to stop listening to all of these fools, the Boyce Watkins of the world, all of them, who tell you voting doesn't matter, because they're liars. Because you are seeing what happens when people do vote. And you're seeing public policy. You're seeing right now, because of Donald Trump holding the levers of power, having the White House, the House, and the Senate, They are extorting $500 million from Harvard, $200 million from Columbia. They're now targeting UCLA and others. They're using civil rights laws against black people. Now, some of y'all might say, well, that's Harvard, that's Columbia, that's UCLA, but they're targeting the black people in Lowndes County who had sewage in their lines, sewage in their yards. They're targeting the HUD lawsuits as well. They're letting millionaires, the guy with Fat Burger gave a big donation, Donald Trump, they canceled the $47 million lawsuit against him. These things are happening before our very eyes. So anybody black, and I'm going to say this before I go, because I go to break, come to my next story. You have never seen white folk say, don't vote. You don't get nothing for that.
All right. So let me remove Mr. Roland Martin. All right. So again, y'all basically heard him say, stop listening to certain people. He mentioned Tariq, Boyce, and Umar. And again, he's, mentioned a whole host of other people in the past, but this particular time he said it, he doesn't care. He's going to mention them. And so he did. And basically he said, stop listening to, the fools and the liars, basically telling you that voting does not matter. Of course, we have heard that a lot, especially in the last couple of elections. It's not the first time we've heard that, but he's basically saying that, Trump is having his way and, with public policy and kind of just doing what he wants. Of course, he referenced the schools and a sense that Trump is, in a sense, shaking down schools. Let's keep it real, under the guise of anti-Semitism, because there were protests going on for pro-Palestine, if you will. So it was labeled anti-Semitic. And so the schools are having to pay a lot of money in order to get back into the good graces of, the Trump administration to release some of those funds that were already allocated, from what I understand, from Congress to the schools. Then he also said that they're using the civil rights laws against us. But the question I have is, when were the civil rights laws ever for us? Okay. And then he talked about the sewage that's in, I forget where he said, but black folks' yard. But it's like, well, what about the water situation in Flint? Okay, that happened under the Obama administration. And from what I understand, I got firsthand intel that it's still going on, although they're talking about bringing in pipes and stuff. But that happened under the Democrats, the Obama administration. Y'all remember he went and he drank that water. He was like, it's safe, right? And of course, it was a Democrat that diverted the water from Detroit, or a cleaner source, to a jacked up source. Of course, y'all know what's going on there. Also, even though we're in the Trump administration, Elon Musk was allowed to build his super giant, AI machine in Memphis. And guess what? They got a black mayor. He was all right with that. And in fact, not only is he going to do one, he's going to do another one now. The problem with that is all the emissions are harming the people around that machine. And guess who lives around that machine? Black people, right? So no one is mentioning that kind of stuff. And then he finished it off by saying, well, you never hear white people say, voting doesn't, we never get nothing out of voting and voting doesn't matter. And it's like, sir, because voting benefits them, right? They benefit the most from voting. Black Americans, especially, not so much. So I took the liberty to just kind of look up some things really quick in regards to how we've been helped with voting. Now, it says major gains, because I stopped at 1960s. Major gains since the 1960s. It says increased political representation. Before the VRA, Voters' Rights Act, very few Black elected officials existed due to voter suppression. By the 1970s and 80s, thousands of Black mayors, city council members, and state legislators were elected across the South. It says the number of Black members of Congress grew dramatically from fewer than 10 in the early 1960s to over 60 today. 60? Okay. Civil rights protections. Voting led to the election of officials who supported civil rights enforcement, desegregation, and anti-discrimination laws. Federal funding and programs, i.e., housing, education, Medicaid, were often pushed through by coalitions of Black voters and allies. Then, of course, it says in many cities in large Black population, Atlanta, Detroit, and New Orleans, it's like, are you serious? But this is what it's saying, right? Voting helped elect Black mayors and city officials, giving Black communities more influence over local policy and police departments. Black voting blocks have influenced legislation on affirmative action, educational funding, healthcare access, and criminal justice reform. Okay. Now it says challenges and limitations. Despite political power, the racial wealth gap has barely narrowed since the 1960s. Voting hasn't directly translated into large-scale economic equality. The 2013 Supreme Court decision, Shelby versus Holder, gutted key parts of the Voting Rights Act, allowing many states to pass voter ID laws and redistricting plans that disproportionately affect Black voters. Okay, now, trying to do my math. If I remember 2013, Obama was in office, and I know he doesn't have a whole lot to do with, locally and state, but he was in office then. Okay, now it says while Black communities voted in large numbers, policies like the 1994 crime bill, backed by both parties, contributed to high incarceration rates, showing voting doesn't always prevent harmful policies. Okay, many systemic issues, housing discrimination, healthcare inequities, reparations, haven't been fully addressed despite decades of voting. So basically, it's open doors for political representation. And how's that been working out for us as Black people? Have we been politically represented by anybody Black? No. Help secure civil rights and local control in many cities. We know that hasn't really benefited us, civil rights at all. It's benefited everybody else, us not so much, okay? Shape policy in some positive ways. What? I don't know. Now, it says, but it has not solved systemic economic inequalities, mass incarceration, and fully protected Black voting power, especially within rollbacks. So we're seeing a lot of things roll back and this, that, and the other. But to his point about voting, what has it done for us? What has it done that we as Black people can say, oh, voting is something we absolutely need to do? Now, I will admit on the state and local levels, we do need to show up because we are always focused, not just us, but focused on the federal level where the president and all that is. And that's great. But the state and local have more of an effect on us, I would say, than the president for the most part, right? But Black people haven't had a good reason to show up. And so he's saying that they're liars and that voting doesn't matter. Well, when has it mattered for Black Americans? That's the question I think we should be asking before he starts calling people liars. Like, line that up. You mentioned a couple of things, but then I just mentioned some other things in juxtaposition to the stuff that he said. So when has it mattered, honestly, for Black people? Donovan, and then I'll get to you guys' comments.
All right. Once again, you've stolen a lot of my talking points, which is okay because I taught you well. So a little joke out there, you guys. But, I find it kind of ironic. I did a podcast, and basically in my podcast, I was telling people that you have to give Donald Trump some credit. If this man came up with for the cure of cancer, they are so Trump deranged, they wouldn't even do that. Remember that little boy that wanted to be a police officer, and he was given the State of the Union, and not one Democrat stood up for that little boy because Donald Trump was introducing him and made him an honorary Secret Service agent or whatever the deal is. That shows you how deranged these people are. Because if it came to cancer, I think they would do the same exact thing. They have no plan. But I think it's ironic that Mr. No Neck, and this is me saying this, not Demetra, Roland, he could talk about what Donald Trump is doing to Harvard and all this other thing, but why isn't he saying what Donald Trump did for the HBCUs? He was the first president to ever give them a 10-year window and billions of dollars. How come he didn't bring that up, Demetra? Under the Trump administration, he gave the HBCUs billions of dollars so they don't have to come begging hand in hand every year. It's like a 10-year window. Trump was like, why do you guys keep coming back here? But he didn't bring that up. Why isn't he giving credit where credit is due? So again, and then, if you like Dr. Umar or if you don't like Dr. Umar, this is what I mean about people that are suspect. I am not a Dr. Umar supporter in the aspect of giving him my money, but I am in support of the message that he puts out for Black people. Why would he go against Dr. Umar? Is it because Dr. Umar served him his lunch years ago? Is that what it is? Because Dr. Umar isn't really into politics like that. He's into Pan-Africanism. So why does Roland have a problem with Pan-Africanism? Oh, that's right, because most people that aren't here in the United States, they don't practice Pan-Africanism, but a lot of Black people, we do practice it, right? But we've been voting for Democrats for over 70 something years. And yet, if you look at the statistics, we are at the bottom of the totem pole here. They brought in a lot of these illegal immigrants. I don't care if you like the word or not. They brought in these illegal immigrants. Remember that story, Demetra, in Chicago, where that immigrant came into the United States and within 2 years was able to buy a house? How many Black people have been here for generations that can't buy a house? So why isn't Roland talking about those issues that we can see in real time? These are the people, and Roland is out here because the Democratic machine has told him, you go out there and you get those Negroes back on the plantation, or it's curtains for you, Roland. How many of you guys saw the Kamala Harris book unveil, right? How does a person who spends most of her life inside the system all of a sudden says, oh, it's corrupt? I'm paraphrasing. Oh, the system is broken. You were just in the system a few months ago. It wasn't broken then. People are waking up. And like I said, from what they're doing, these people are exposing themselves, and we've got to start calling this out. So this is a great topic, but I want to hear what you guys have to say, because we have the best co-hosts on the internet.
Absolutely. And Mr. Chris, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Digital PLR, how you doing? Says, well, I definitely think we should have voted more. This administration is destructive. It's affecting my daughter's aid for college. It's also affecting my job, possibly as being a government employee. And I think, it's fair to say that those things are happening. I'm not one to lie to kick it. I don't like a lot of the things that I'm seeing. And what's so funny? I was thinking about, well, I'll save that for later. But I was thinking about something. I won't bring it up right now. But yeah, I agree with you. We should vote more on a state and local level, because that's where your senators and your House representatives, those people are, right? Those people are supposed to go to Washington and hold Trump accountable, or say, hey, no, I'm not voting for that. It's going to hurt my constituents, or this, that, and the other, right? But right now, he does have, a hold on Washington, whether it's the Supreme Court, the House, the Senate. He has a hold, and in all regards, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? He's using it to his advantage. Not saying that the advantage is good, but he is using it to his advantage. And so that's why voting on the state and local level does matter. But getting caught up in just the federal election, well, we see where it's gotten us, right? Because that's what the largest turnout is. But I'm sorry that it's affecting your household, as it's affecting a lot of people. It's affecting mine. I'll be honest with you. When I go to the store, I'm like, yikes. And it seems like almost every week that I go to the store, the stuff is going up more and more. And we did hear Trump say, oh, price of eggs and all this stuff was supposed to be plummeting down, right? Now it's just skyrocketing up. Just to be real honest with you, right? I mean, like I said, I ain't gonna lie to kick it. Let's see who else is on here that I have not seen. Janelle says, I thought I was supposed to be on the slave plantation by now. What time is my oppression start? Well, it started when I know mine started when I was born. Sherry, how you doing? Says, yes, Black Americans vote do matter, because if it doesn't matter for us, we vote and everybody else gets help, especially the illegals. You're right. They do matter. They just don't matter for us. They've been mattering for everybody else. And now we're starting to say, you know what, until I get something for my vote, then I'm probably going to sit it out. Now, see, instead of them being mad because we're sitting it out, they should be going to the drawing board and saying, okay, what can we really offer them to bring them back to the table? But they're not really having that conversation. They're just having people like your Rolands and your Rickies and your Joys and all those people admonish Black people for saying, I'm tired of showing up for nothing. I always use this example. I'm not going to go to the store looking for a red pair of shoes, and they say, we ain't got a red pair of shoes. We got a blue one. I'm not going to say, well, here's my money anyway. No, I came in here to spend my money on what I want. And if I can't get at least some of what I want, then I'm not going to leave my money. I'm not going to go to the store and come out with nothing and say, well, here's my money, even though you didn't have what I wanted. Here you go. The voting is the same way. So they should really be trying to get that together, but they're not. Hey, Easy E, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tracy says, I look up Roland's age and it's showing he's what? 85. Can someone else look at my trip? You wild. And you know damn well that man ain't no. Is he even 60? Let's see who else is on here that I have not seen it, and I will catch back up because y'all know I get really behind. Marjorie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Just looking to see who I haven't seen so I can catch up. Trish, how you doing? Hope you're doing well still. What is going on with you, Brother Samuel? Ooh, I saw you about 10 minutes ago, so I know I'm really behind. He says, after slavery, we elected a large number of Black officials before we were disenfranchised. Today, we have more powerless officials, and you're absolutely right. During the 1870s, we have more Black senators, in fact, and like I said, politicians in Congress than we do now. So you're absolutely right. But 60 right now? You know, that's crazy. The Crawford Experience, how you doing? Says, shout out to my big sister, Demetri K. Roly Poly has no pulse in the Black community. FBA always and forevermore. Yes, indeed. And I should also say, yes, I did see 48 TCO. Matter of fact, she saw me. I'm at Walmart. I was leaving the gym. My daughter and I was leaving from the gym, going to Walmart. She says, Demetri K. Now, mind you, y'all, I have my hat pulled all the way down. I said, how you recognize me? So yeah, that was a pleasure meeting her. I always love when I meet people from the show.
I can tell you how she reckoned. Never mind.
Hey, Donovan, move your mic down just a little bit because it's kind of really loud. But yes, indeed. Shut up, Donovan. Brogu, how you doing? I just caught what you said. Ladette, what's going on with you? Lisa, how you doing? Avenge the Ancestors, yes, indeed. Lady Lamero, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It has been a while, yes, indeed. Okay, Detroit's HP TV, how you doing? Says, great topic. Well, thank you, Louise. What's going on? Says, I'm tired, y'all. With all that we know, with all the education and information, we have the descendants to choose to fight amongst themselves. Said the descendants to choose to fight amongst themselves. Okay, Black man, how you doing? He says, always praising the Most High. Yes, indeed, got to, right? Norma, what's going on? He says, I support Trump on mass deportation. And I think most of us do, right? Because now we're seeing, I'm telling you, now when I'm out and about, I'm seeing more and more Black construction crews, right? And I haven't had the chance to stop to really ask them, is this new or what? But I would say I haven't been seeing them like that. It was like rare, like finding a Hope Diamond, you know?
Yeah, and you got to also think here in LA, it relieves the traffic. The traffic is really, nice and smooth. And then these jobs that are now available, our kids and younger people could go get these jobs. Again, if you guys saw our last show, the CEO of the Atlanta Martyr System, he self-deported himself. These are jobs that Americans should be having, but these other people are coming here and making the money, and they shouldn't have these positions.
Absolutely, Donovan, you disappearing up in there. But Kari, how you doing? Says Roland doesn't speak for me. I don't think he speaks for a lot of the people that he used to. He speaks for some people, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe he's really realizing that he's lost the juice, because let's keep it a buck. There was a lot of people like the Umars and all them, us, telling people, hey, get something for your vote, right? Before, people like your Rollins and everybody else is like, well, you just got to show up because the Democrats are this, that, and the other. But it's like, no, we should show up. Like you said, you don't hear white people talking about, we to sit it out or whatever the case is, or we don't benefit from voting. But it's like, yeah, you do. Or voting doesn't matter is what he said. It does matter to them because they get. Black Americans don't. So we understand why they're not saying it. Renee, how you doing? Says Roland will never bring up illegal immigrants or Biden letting them into our country. I'm better. Yeah, and why is that? Well, none of them will. They might touch on it a little bit, like if they see something funky going on, like with the ICE agents or something like that. But they're not going to say, you know what? Yeah, the Biden administration caused this. Right now, immigration has always been a thing. But when Biden and Kamala were in office, it was a thing. Biz, what's going on with you? Brother Perry says, I never listened to Roland Martin. Well, I did back in the day. Roland, when he was on like TV One and before that, I thought, the Roland was pretty groovy. But then, when you wake up, you're like, man, what's your angle? You know what I mean? And so I'm not saying, I'm not one to ever say Roland is stupid. He's a very smart man, obviously, to get where he is and stuff. But I just think that the gig is up. People are like, wait a minute. What's your angle, man? KP, thank you so much. Says Roland is Steven from Django and We Them Ninjas on the Nag. I can see that. Yeah. To say the least, right? Mission Vision, how you doing? Byron, he says, you know what? How you doing? Del Monte Green Beans, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. You said Roland is that non-Black American, he can't get reparations. So somebody said, is he Jamaican? I think I don't know what he is. I know he was born here, but maybe his family is from somewhere Haitian or something. Don't quote me. I don't really know. But
yeah, I heard he has Haitian descent.
Yeah. King Shaw says our reparations are coming. They are coming to us totally. It's not if, it's when, right? OG, what's going on with you? Let's see who else is on here. MC Fact, how you doing? Says we're behind on the likes. Okay, well, I'll let y'all handle that. But thank you for bringing that up. Cassius, how you doing? Says Roland Poland. You know what? You said buttermilk viscous is running low. Yeah, they've seen that our voices did matter, right? Like, nah, don't just keep showing up for nothing. Big E, how you doing? Says, but we don't listen to Roland and his lying behind. Yes, one who cares. Half a dozen eggs are $3.15. Yeah, I mean, I saw them in Walmart. Shoot, they would go up to $8. Now I did get some for like $3 something, whatever the case is. But yeah, it's scary.
We're looking at $5 out here in California for a pack of eggs.
Yeah, it's getting scary. Ronald, how you doing? But I mean, it's almost like you got to pick your scary, especially if you're Black American, you got to pick your scary. You pick your scary with if Kamala would have been in office and with mass immigration, going through the roof even more than it was when she and Biden were in office, or you're scary with what's going on with Trump. Now, to some people say I prefer this or that, but Black Americans, we're always in a state of fear in a sense, because we're always left unprotected, whether it's economically, whether it's crime, whatever it is. We're always left unprotected, and then everybody's mad at us because we're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do it no more. Arthur, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says identity politics. Yep. Who else haven't I seen? Ash Shakir, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jamal says just because a person has dark skin don't mean they're Black. Me no Black, I'm Dominican. Nino Black, I'm Nigerian. He says, and me no Black, I'm Ethiopian. Me no Black, I'm so and so. Yeah. And then they find out they are Black. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, but you guys got to realize when you go overseas, just like the Dominicans are Dominicans, Haitians are Haitians, you can go to any tribe in Africa, even though they keep inviting us back there. Do you guys realize because of tribalism is the main reason why Africa cannot become the United States of Africa? Because of their tribalism. You could be as dark as whatever or look just like them. If you're not a member of their tribe, you are no different than a white man walking around in the in the diaspora. You are looked at as a foreigner. You are not of their tribe. That's why when you see Africans here in America, what do they say? If you can't go to them and say, hey, let's all get together and you guys help me start a business. They won't do it because you're not their people. And that's how it is outside the United States. We are the only members of the African diaspora that welcome others because of this color of their skin. We're the only ones. And we're also the only ones that fight white supremacy every day. But that is the real reason. Don't fool yourself. If you go overseas, you are a foreigner to them. They see you as an American with money. That's what they see you as, period.
Victorious, how you doing? Says if voting doesn't matter, why do they gerrymander districts? Because it matters for them, right? There's some, like in Houston or Texas, there's a big, gerrymandering thing going on where they want to take 5 seats, I guess, because Trump told them, when I say they, I mean the Republicans, Greg Abbott, the governor, and all of them, they want to take it because, well, there are some Black districts in Houston, but, and I haven't been in Houston long, so I probably can't really speak on a lot. But I would like to know, how are things different for the Black districts under a Democratic rule than it would be under a Republican? Like, what say-so do you have right now? Under the other, now that the Democrats, you have that district for now. So, but good question, though. You dog, how you doing? Y'all just paying attention to crazy Donovan. Let's see. Jay Bubba, he says, is Roland having a hissy fit again? Did the DNC call him up telling him to scold us? I don't know. Monet, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Mars, how you doing? Says, hello, everyone. Talking about we don't need it. Needs to be the very first not to get reparations. I don't care how much money I have. I still want it. Okay. Run me mine. Absolutely. Okay. So y'all saying Roland is of Haitian descent. Who else haven't I seen? Beverly White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Damon in the building. How you doing? Black Rose, what's up? He says, voting blue is dangerous for FBA. It definitely is. Enlighten, how you doing? He says, Donald Trump deporting illegals have given my black brothers and sisters the opportunities for jobs and housing. I would say so, right? So yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of people did it. The immigration was out of control, right? May, how you doing? Says, and they're hitting us from all directions, from having us vote against or our interests to boosting other groups' economy instead of our own. Yep.
Yeah, Dimitri, one of the biggest questions I get from people is, well, Donovan, do you regret your vote? And I say, no, I don't regret my vote, because what Donald Trump is doing is helping my people. Remember, I am not for a system that is status quo. I don't want to go back to the status quo. Why? Because the status quo keeps us at the bottom. You would have to be insane to say, yeah, we need to go back to the good old Biden days, the good old Obama days. You're at the bottom. So no, I don't regret my vote. He's doing something that benefits black people by getting these people up out of here. I don't regret my vote.
Cute Ladybug. He says, I was shocked to learn Roland was once married to Deborah Duncan. I don't even know who that is. I guess I have to look her up. He's married to somebody else now, but I thought that was his first wife. So I have no idea. I don't really know much about Roland in those regards, just kind of the, politics and things like that. Maya sisters, how you doing? He says, I live in Wisconsin. I am seeing young black men working in landscaping and the construction crews. My son was promoted in management because of hiring shortages from immigrants. Yeah, I'm imagining that's what's really going on now. Daryl, how you doing? Says the Republicans in Texas are redrawing the voting maps. Jasmine Crockett is finished. Will California Democrats control state do the same to the Republicans? They said that they are. And you're right. It looks like they snatched per the new map. There's nothing official yet, but they took Jasmine Crockett's district. There's basically, she's saying, now I don't live in the district the way they have redrawn it. Not necessarily that she has to per se, but the way they want to do it, she doesn't live there. So yeah.
Well, dang, all she's got to do is what Maxine Waters does. You buy some property in the district as you live outside of it. That's all. That's their scapegoat.
Right. The outsider. He says representations coming with Jesus. Okay. DJ, how you doing? Says in Georgia, Eggland's best was $10 6 months ago. Now they're $4.50. Okay, so they're coming down in some places. And admittedly, I don't buy eggs a lot. Sometimes I do. So I'm not consistent in buying them, so I don't really know what they are on a regular basis. YOLO, how you doing? Says it's not just a state of fear. We're always in PTS trauma state. You ain't lying. PTSD rather. Damon says, FYI, the Russians that started the ish in Cincinnati has left the country. That's what I heard. Infamous Eli, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Benny, what's going on with you? Said it's the delineation that has them extremely angry, but that tells us the power of our movement. Well, the thing is, but we've always had the power of our movement, even before the delineation thing. And again, y'all, this is what we got to remember. Delineation is not new. It's, I guess, a lot of people are hearing about it, but delineation is not new. And I know, like I said, a lot of y'all don't really like Marcus Garvey anymore. You used to, but you don't like him anymore. But he was trying to get all of the African diaspora to delineate from America, right? White supremacy. The Nation of Islam been talking about separation to death for a long time. So delineation ain't new. But somehow we are, we got to delineate. We've been told to delineate. We have been told to do that by everybody that has a conscious thought in our community, to delineate. But now all of a sudden, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm glad we're having it, but delineation is not a new call to action. It's not. Anyway, let's see who else. Ricky, how you doing? Says thank you, Donovan. North Carolina, country, I think that's what it is. Says thank you, Kevin. So you say hello to somebody else. Five Rings, what's going on with you? Brother Reddy says gerrymandering wig out of office. You better quit it. The one and only, he says Roland is a paper made, not a real member, like the founders, 100% soft. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to add this to you guys and give you guys some food for thought on this real quick. When these people migrate here, right, it isn't like when we got here. What happened to us when we came here? Involuntarily, even though a lot of us were already here before, we already know that story. But the people of us that were brought here involuntarily, you were stripped of your language, you were stripped of your religion, you were stripped of your culture, you were stripped of your clothes. Your whole identity was destroyed. These people come here, right, intact. They come here, their language is intact. They have no desire to learn English. Isn't that one of the tenets to becoming a citizen of the United States, is to learn English? They have no desire to do that. They come here with their culture. They come here with their racism. Whenever I see Black people out there fighting in a fight that really isn't their fight, for people that would not piss on them if they were on fire, and they don't know the racism of these people. I don't care if you're a Black man or a Black woman. If you date, let's say, a Latin person, ask yourself, honey, why can't we go see your parents? Because he can't bring you to his parents because of the blatant racism that they've brought here to this country, which is another reason why we got to get them up out of here.
Absolutely. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments. Brother Samuel says, Brother Martin seems like he's got a great desire to be seen and walk on others to do it. Oh, well, walk on others rather to do it. Yeah, you know, it's weird. Like I said, a lot of people didn't see that before, but, you know, definitely now. And then all the name calling it does of Black Americans who do not agree with him is crazy, right? Let's see. Byron says, I want so many of these immigrants out of here that I never have to press 2 again. You crazy. Ricky says, Donovan for president. Let's see here. Black Lives Matter says, what is Black people doing for Black people? You know what? I often ask that question. A lot of people don't like that. I agree with you. What are we doing for us? Not that we're not doing anything. I'm one of those people I like to focus on how we build our community, not so much as to what everybody else is doing, although we should be abreast of that. But I'm not going to focus more energy on that than I am on what we need to be doing to build our community, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? But I agree with you with that one. Let's see who else. GH, how you doing? He says, same. I've been seeing a lot more Black men work in construction. Yeah. Ricky says, give me Caroline Levitt spot. I don't know if I can sit up there day in and day out, be stuttering because I'm trying not to lie, right? Marjorie says, Roland can't lead us down the rabbit holes of the Democratic Party anymore because FBA, BRG has uncovered the real truth about what they care about themselves, their pockets, their families, and friends. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Brother Perry. I appreciate you for that. Let's see. King Shaw, so he says, Lewis, no party. Okay, so you're talking to somebody else. 5 Rank says, I was on Normandy engaged in Los Angeles and actually saw about 10 FBA brothers on the construction site. I could not believe it. Trump needs to keep deporting. Yeah, like I said, I'm here in Houston and I see it almost every day. And it's like, wow. But I was not seeing that before. Felon Tavius, how you doing? Says Cincinnati, the new Black sundown town. I heard that they just caught some guy, the FBI did, a white guy, who was plotting on Twitter, of all places, to take out 30,000 Black people in Cincinnati. When I say take out, I mean, so that they uncovered that today. From what I understand, don't know a whole lot of details on it. Kev J says, are they still protesting the African braiding shops? Shouldn't they be protesting the Asian hair and the hair shops? I saw, no, it doesn't look like it. Well, the Nadine's one, she's just as busy as ever. I don't know how successful that is, but as I started to listen to more of it, I'm like, so, okay, we're when I say we, I mean them, because I don't get my hair braided. Boycotting the African braiding shops. Okay. But it doesn't sound, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not too, as my friend said this one day, I'm not that far into the weeds, you know, with the whole situation. So I don't want to speak out of my,
I think I have an idea what have happened with the boycott of the African beauty shops and stuff. This is something I just picked up. They were all at the Houston get together getting the free stuff. That's where everybody went.
Maybe. Diane, thank you so much for that love. I appreciate you. Says, I'm so glad that Trump said with his whole chest, speak English or leave. Yeah, because up until then, there was no official language of America, even though it's English speaking, but it wasn't the official language until he says, okay, now it's the official language. So yeah, I can dig it, especially when you have to get a job, right? Or know how to speak Spanish to get the job. Now, I imagine on a federal level, that's not true, but the states can still, you know, mandate that if they want to. Chalk Chick, how you doing? Long time no see. Brother Don says, understand that the Divine Nine was created to protect 9 families of the Illuminati. First time I heard that, but interesting. MBR, how you doing? I mean, MRB, he says, neither of the political party systems are doing anything for Black folks. Never have and never will. No matter how much we beg and cry, they will never do that. Adelia, how you doing? Says, most immigrants are learning English. It's a requirement to pass tests for citizenship. That is true. And they often say immigrants know a lot more about America than Americans, because you're right. They have to learn, so much about the country before they just come over here.
Right. But unfortunately, yeah, and I agree with that. That's if you're going to take the test. But when you sneak in here illegally, you aren't planning to take no tests.
But that ain't what she said, though. Or let's see, who said that. That's not, she said when they come and take the test. So that wasn't the issue of them coming in here illegally. And Rosande, how you doing? It says we can't deport him. So he talking about him. Who you talking about? Trump. Hey, Deacon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Timothy, what's going on with you? Easy says D. So the white Russian screams fire in the theater and allow to flee back to his country to avoid prosecution. Yeah, for the most part, because again, the media painted the narrative that, they were the victims. It sounds like he was the aggressor from the videos that I've seen. But again, you got to remember, while we're focused on everything else instead of our community, Dr. Claude Anderson told us we own less than 3% of the media. So they're going to be able to shape narratives about us. To this day, I haven't really even seen any major news outlets tell the other side of the story. Whether it's out of order or not, I have not seen them say, okay, here is another video of the Russian actually putting his hands on the brother. I have not seen anybody do it. So the point to me bringing that up is we need to get more media. And I'm not talking about BET because we know we don't own it and all the other low-hanging stuff, right? That's why with this platform, even though I don't own YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, I try to be as responsible as possible. Sometimes we, fool around a little bit here, but for the most part, let's, make it productive. Let's make it educational. When I say let's, I mean, that's me, that's everybody on here, right? Because the media we got to make it count. But that's why he was able to leave, because they painted him as the victim. So.
Yeah, and you guys got to remember, I keep talking about Operation Mockingbird. That is all a part of that, controlling the media and forming a narrative that fits their situation. So again, the information is there. The Democrats, just like the Republicans, they want to censor the internet. They want to censor the internet because people are getting a alternative to the national media.
Yeah, and Molly Cakes, who says Cincinnati has always been racist. I live in Ohio. I know this for a fact. If I'm not mistaken, Ohio was one of the epicenters of the Klan, right? So America's the epicenter of the Klan, but Ohio's specifically, where they had all kind of politicians and all kind of people, back in the Gap, involved in the KKK. So absolutely.
Wait. Are you sure, Demetra? Because according to American history that they keep telling us, the South is this racist place and stuff like that. But those of us remember when Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to integrate housing up in Chicago and those areas, he was pelted with rocks and stones and actually hit on the head. But they keep telling us that the South is so damn racist. But like you said, the United States is racist.
Yeah, and Easy, I did see the debacle of the hair salon or beauty supply in Houston. I'm probably going to do a small video about it. But yeah, I saw it. And I keep seeing people, of course, trying to, and I'm not saying you, Easy, but I've seen this narrative. Oh, look at black women, that's an embarrassment. But I'm like, what's so crazy is they're not talking about the black women. I was like, I was here to go actually support this brother, go buy something. I wasn't here for no free wigs and weaves. So I'm like, why do we keep talking about? Obviously, it's something to talk about because it was so bad and demonstrative of people, fighting over wigs and weaves and stuff. But see, I'd rather talk about the women who were there to support the classy, decent, black women that were there doing what they were supposed to be doing and not engaging in the mayhem, right? So that's how we, especially with some platforms, have to start changing the narrative. Not really sewing into, y'all see those women, not you, Easy, but I'm saying, because I've had a couple people ask me about it. I'm like, yeah, I saw it, but I also saw the other side of it, of the women that weren't involved in that. So yeah, But, you know, it makes for good TV to say, look at those black banshees in bonnets and pajamas. And, you know, it's soothing to the soul of people who are looking for that content, right? But I'm going to touch upon it. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when we're not out there helping them in their protests and stuff like that. Look at those. Yeah, look at it. Then let them go do what they got to do. Them women ain't nothing. They ain't out here helping us. So, you know, again, we've seen it all. I mean, what can they do to us that hasn't already been done?
Yeah, we just got to stop furthering the narratives, right? Because when we further the narratives, especially from, you know, white supremacy and other people who just are looking for clicks and likes, then we actually don't make it better. But yeah, I did see it. How could I not, right? Brother Easy was everywhere. FBA Queen says eggs in Chicago are $2.49 a dozen. Okay, so I'm assuming that's good, right? Kev J says, bet you they don't know about our history. Just skipping down so I could catch up because I know I'm so behind. Who haven't I seen on here yet? Chalk Chick says, I substitute for a school district in Los Angeles. They call on the phone and come into the school office with the expectation that someone speaks Spanish. Well, that's the way it's been for a very long time, right? They've had people to speak Spanish for them. And the other side of that is you couldn't get that job if you didn't speak Spanish. You couldn't go in there and say, hey, I want to work here at the school, but I don't speak Spanish. They'd be like, well, it's okay. We're looking for somebody who's bilingual, right? Now, of course, in Los Angeles, that's probably never going to change because they're doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on, you know, helping the immigrants and things like that. But yeah, that's the way it's been. It's been allowed to be that way. So yeah. Who else haven't I seen? Timothy, did I say hello to you? If not hello, I think Donovan is frozen. Black America, how you doing? So he went back to Russia with a whale whoop ass. It sounds like, right? But it's like if you the victim, then why did you leave? You know, why don't you stay here and, you know, fight it out or whatever it is you need to do? I think that's Donovan that's frozen. I don't think it's me. We'll find out though, right? Lance says there's plenty of full videos showing a Russian instigating the fight. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but they won't show it. They won't show it at all. Okay, so let's see. Benny says, yes, MLK was attacked in Chicago. I'm from Chicago and was nearly lynched. Says myself as a teenager in the same area of Marquette Park. And FBA Queen, thank you so much. He says, I love Dimitri and Donovan. By the way, Roland, he crazy, was married to a woman who left him for a white man. See, I didn't know none of that. I had no idea about any of that at all. I thought he was married for the first time to whoever he's married to now. Hey, Al, how you doing? It says Lonnie Anderson passed. Wow. I thought she had already gone on, but RIP to her. Brother Reddy says, speaking of wigs, any more wigs flying at WNBA games over the weekend? Yeah, I saw that, and somebody got ejected, I guess, for laughing. Black America. Just reading the comments. Black Lives Matter says Black California needs a big change. Yeah, well, it's only less than 6% of Black people in California. So how much of a change? I don't know. Education is key. How you doing? Hope that you're doing well. Don Star was going on and says he's desperate. The Democrats are desperate. Yes, indeed. Donovan is moving a little bit. I don't know if he's frozen. Yeah, obviously, he's frozen, right? 48 TCO. He says, and don't forget Deborah Duncan has a son with that new husband who is very gifted and athletic. I need to look her up. I don't know who she is. Can y'all tell me if it's me that's frozen or is it Donovan that's frozen? Can y'all see? Is it me? Is it Donovan? So I got down to the bottom and Jamal says, hey, Louis, you're making it bad for people such as yourself because I can tell the type of person you are. Your slip is showing, so maybe you're speaking for somebody else. Okay, so it's Donovan that's frozen. Okay, I was about to say, yeah, I can see him moving a tiny bit. He'll have to go in. Let me actually, there he removed himself. Ooh. All right, so he'll come back. Let's see. And Brother Reddy says, yeah, I thought she had passed on WKRP in Cincinnati. Was my shot. And when I was a kid, yeah, I thought she had already passed, but wow, she had to been up there, right? But RIP. Deacon, thank you so much for that. He says, Donovan looked like a vampire on Sinners. Bite him, or bit him rather. I'm about to say, I ain't finna bite him now. That bit him. yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, the internet. I actually went out and got this thing. I haven't tested it out yet, but if there's ever another power outage, we're gonna see if it works. So it's kind of like a generator in a sense that it's plugged in. But if the power ever goes out, I have my computer and my internet plugged to it, so it'll keep it going. So fingers crossed, if that ever happens, we'll see if it actually works, right? Because I'm like, nah, I can't keep having my power go out, so I have to make an investment in that. 48 TCO says she was a news anchor here in Houston for KHOU. For real? She was really a news anchor, wasn't just acting? Okay, so y'all saying it's Donovan. Good. I mean, not good that he's frozen. FBA Queen says, why don't I date a Latino? He ain't as fine as FBA. No way, no how. And who asked you that? I mean, I totally agree with you on that. I know a lot of people who are, maybe dating an Afro Latino or, something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. Juggernaut says, it looks like memorialized frozen picture. Raynard, how you doing? Says, Demetra, liberal Southern California is more racist than any place in the South. You ain't lying. And people really don't understand that, but it is. It really is. Marjorie says, women who have alopecia, the big C, often wear wigs to dress up and feel good about themselves. Stop beating up on Black women and their hair options. White women have hair lice, so now talk about that. Yeah, I'm not one to beat up on anybody who wants to wear wigs or weaves. It's just not for me. As y'all see, I sweat a lot, and I know I've been and had a whole bunch of wigs in the backseat of my car because I've been snatched them off, right? Even wearing hats for me is hot. I don't knock anybody. It's a personal choice. Like you said, we don't know what's going on under people's wigs. Some people have a lot of hair, right? And they just like to wear wigs because having your hair natural, it does take a toll on your hair. To have natural hair, like I have very dry hair naturally, 4C. I mean, it's got a lot of shrinkage on it and stuff, but I get why people wear it. So I'll just say that. Marshall, how you doing? Let's see. Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jamal says Los Angeles City Council have been caught on tape redlining. Oh yeah, they was trying to, right? And then they got out of there. You crazy, Brother Reggie. Ooh, don't you remind me of Walter when he was on here. That's my brother. I love him dearly. But I told him, we had a long talk yesterday. I said, listen, I need you to be sitting down. I need you to be sitting down with some good internet, okay? I don't need you to walking around because he was changing from his phone to his computer. He was outside. He was inside. I was like, right. So he says Wednesday he's going to have his stuff together. But yeah, maybe Donovan is using Walter's computer. Extreme says they sure are worried about the 13% of the population. Why bother? Good point. Brother Sam says, lately in school, Jackson, Mississippi, there is an influx of Latinos in my class who don't speak English, and I'm left to use an interpreter that doesn't always interpret right. See, that's not fair to you. And it's not fair to the other students that speak English, right? Because you have to stop and take time, and that's not right. If that's what they're going to do, they should have them in another class, right? So somebody who can speak with them fluently could take the time with them, but for you to have to stop, that's not cool. And it's not cool to the student who don't speak English, because are they really learning if, all the interruptions are going on? So it's crazy. FBA Queen says, Chicago's boycotting Africans, Arabs, Asians, Indians, Hispanics. They're all on code. There you go. Boycott everybody. And that was my point, to this whole African boycott. If you boycott them, boycott everybody, right? Because again, I'm always going back to this. Dr. Claude Anderson says Black Americans are good at boycotting. We boycott ourselves all the time, but everybody else gets our money. So I'm with that. Let's keep the money with us. Because like I said, I'm not too much on focusing on what everybody else is doing. I'm focused on what we need to be doing. And when we do that, yeah, we're going to eat greedy just like the rest of them. Because at the end of the day, they all going to be all right. We're the ones that keep having a conversation about group economics and, let's not spend money here. So we need to really focus on ourselves. Biz says that cornbread scene make me laugh every time. 48 TCO says Demetra, Deborah Duncan was a former news anchor here in Houston for KHOU. Okay, that's probably why I don't know who she is, man. I'm going to look her up, though, because now y'all got my curiosity going. Black Rose says TPS has ended. Thank you, Trump. And Damon says, is that Congo broadband or Congo broadband? Leave it. Donovan says that he builds his own computers and stuff. And I'm like, bro, that's the problem. But then again, I don't know. Maybe they had a power outage or something. I don't know. Education is Key said, did you get that product from Home Depot, Demetra? No, I ordered it off of Amazon, to be honest with you. I'm an Amazon person because I like going to Amazon because I could look up the product, the reviews, and all that other stuff, opposed to going in there and things like that. But I got it off of Amazon, so hopefully it works, right? If it don't, it's going back. And he says, you are referring to UPS. It's meant to give you time to save your work and shut your PC down safely. If power goes out in the grid, then you typically lose internet too. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully if that doesn't happen, right? Hopefully it's not a grid thing. If it's not, then it'll keep going. So absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Tracy said, let me refresh. Sweet Daddy Kool-Aid, how you doing? Says, how many watts is your generator? It's not even a big one. I don't even know. Y'all asking a lot of questions now. Is that paper over here? No. It's a small one, but it's just specifically for my computer and the internet and everything around my desk. So I'm hoping that it does work. It's supposed to kick in or keep going rather if the power goes out. So we'll see, and hopefully we don't have to see. Five Rain says, Southern California is a place where the most sophisticated racism on the planet is practiced. Yep, it is. Born in Northern California, raised in Southern California. Jamarcus, how you doing? John Curry, what's going on? Says, thank you for being natural with the hair. Oh, it's my pleasure. You know, sometimes I think about a permanent, a relaxer, but I know it's bad for you. It would just be easier. But yeah, natural is not easy. I don't have the curly girl hair per se with the slip and the curls and you just put some water on it. Man. Yeah, it's a dilemma every week. I'll tell you that. The protagonist, how you doing? Says Dolly means like him. You mean Rolly? You're talking about Rolly? Yeah, talking about the liars? Yeah. Yes, indeed. Byron says, bald-headed or full crown FBA women, I still love you and ain't nothing you can do about it. I know that's right. Deacon, thank you once again. It says the hair and good is making us sick. So you mean like the products? Oh yeah, it is. And of course, we're learning a lot about that now. All the stuff that's in the hair products, the poison, the chemicals and stuff, which is probably why a lot of Black women have a lot of issues. And I always said too, especially in the last couple of years, why is it that so many Black women are going bald? You know, just hair just falling out type of thing. I know it's attraction, alopecia being pulled out because of the braids, which is why I don't do braids no more. Because braids over time will pull your hair out. And people say, why don't you get locks? Because locks also tend to cause attraction, alopecia as well. And I just want to keep my hair as long as I can. Then I guess I would wear a wig, right? Brother Reddy says all countries have official languages. Trump is right. English should be the official language of the U.S. Absolutely. Just skipping down. Timothy say true. Deacon, thank you once again for that. Love and appreciate you. Says, lady, do your research on that hair. Yeah, it's chemicals in the hair as well. One of the last times I tried to wear synthetic hair for like braids, I took it out later on that day. My scalp itched so bad. It itched so bad. I literally woke up in the middle of the night and took the hair out. I was like, I don't know what's in this hair, but it ain't gonna be on my head. Yeah, so, and that was the last time that I did it. Smoke Reloaded, how you doing? Says, me and my wife were trying to figure out if you're FBA. We think you are. Now we're trying to figure out if you're from Louisiana or Mississippi. I am. Well, okay, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get out of here because I see it's almost an hour. I've seen, and I don't know if you guys saw the debate that we had. It wasn't even really a debate. It was kind of more like a discussion on African Diaspora News Channel on Thursday. It was Brother Phil, Sister Vicky, myself, Sister Emma, Sister Whitney, right? We're just having a discussion on the diaspora wars, if that's even a thing, but apparently it is. And I've seen a lot of people question whether I am FBA, right? Foundational Black American. Now, I want to be careful when I say this because I know, the temperature that we're in. I'm not FBA. I am Black American. Now, the reason why I say I'm not FBA is because I don't subscribe to, I don't know if organization is a right word, and I don't mean it to say that to be disrespectful. I do not subscribe to the organization. I've always subscribed to being Black American. Of course, there was a term African American at one point in time, but I've always referred to myself as Black, right? Obviously, I'm American. My daddy's people from Texarkana. My dad was born in Los Angeles, California. My mama people from Georgia, Valdosta to be exact. Then they moved to the tri-state area of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Then my mama moved out to Los Angeles, right? So I have roots, deep roots here in the United States of America. So I kind of get why you're asking, but no, not Mississippi or Louisiana, Southern California for me, really for most of my life. So yeah, I hope that helps and I didn't cause any confusion. Black America says, what California is racist? You better stop. If you don't stop, one day I'm gonna have you on here. Ain't gonna be no time soon. Marshall says, I looked up Deborah Duncan and she is beautiful, swollen. Damn, swollen, rolling, missed out. Easy says, D, you got the double old buckshots. What's that? Oh, you mean like yeah. I'm telling you, when y'all should see one day. I mean, I don't care if y'all see how I look, if I look busted and disgusted. When I wash my hair, it's just like, it's like super tight, right? It's shrunk up now, you know, because it's hot. But you can see I got a little bit going on there, but it's actually very, well, not totally shrunken, but enough. Let's see. Black America says they're going bald because of their diet. Yeah, diet has a lot to do with it too. You ain't lying. Diet, Lance says, I grew up in San Diego in the 70s and 80s, and it's extremely racist there. Oh, yeah. Black America acting brand new. Tracy says, no, before we let those people in our heads, we weren't losing our hair. Not me, but you get it. Oh, yeah, you know, I got this fan because I'm hot. Yeah, you got to be careful of who you let in your hair. Like I told you, I used to have a cosmetology license. I went to cosmetology school right out of high school, 89, 90. And I learned a lot about not just the hair, but your scalp, right? So I always say people nowadays, they know how to do hair, but they don't know how to do scalp. And that's why I see a lot of people going bald as well. Like Black America said, diet, and just people not really understanding that there's certain things you can't do to your scalp, to your hair, right? Just because somebody wants, you know, a 27 piece, it's like, should you really be gluing that on a scalp? Now, I know there's other ways of doing it. They put it on the cap, but you don't think that glue is going to seep through the cap and get in your scalp? Duh, right? So, yeah, I wish people would learn how to, you know, really do natural hair. It's a pain, but you'll be better off for it. Easy says, D, the hair care products causing fibroids. Yep, that's what they say. Sean, how you doing? Says, I have locks and love them. No issue at all. Just healthy hair and length. Yeah. See, I'm afraid of locks because I just know it'll snatch me bald, right? It just, for me, it would. Jamal says, black folks go back and forth. Watch Brother Dick Gregory. He told us how to live natural. Yep. Dr. Sabi, the Nation of Islam, all of them, right? We just not listening per usual. FBA or nothing. How you doing? So that was a discussion more than a debate because there wasn't any FBA men on the panel. Well, I hear what you're saying, but Brother Phil is Black American. He's Black American. So I don't know, you know, why that keeps getting lost in translation. And I've kind of seen the comments. Brother Phil is Black American. Brother Phil is from here. His people is from here. So, I guess maybe if you can help me clarify exactly what it is you mean. Agent Black, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Shut up, Black America. Hey, Stephen, how you doing? Says it's not an organization. Well, like I said, listen, honestly, as much as I know about a lot of things, I don't know a lot about FBA. So I don't know if it's an organization or whatever it is, right? I don't go that far in the weeds, as I've heard that term. I don't go that far in the weeds with a lot of stuff. I just don't, especially things that I want to say I'm not interested in. I know of it, but I'm not, because I'm focused on other stuff, if that makes any sense. And it probably didn't. Let's see. Nostalgic, how you doing? Says lineage, not organization. Okay, so lineage. Now, if y'all can help me out, since we're having this conversation, is FBA a new lineage? Since that's what you guys are describing, is it a fairly new lineage, if you don't mind me asking? FBA or nothing says FBA is a lineage. We have no leader or organization. Okay, so how did it come about, if y'all don't mind me asking? Because now I'm curious. How did FBA come about? 5 Rain says FBA's lineage based, not an organization. Okay, got you. Groovy Gang said it's a lineage. Mitch K. Okay. Busy says, I may not fully agree with you and others, yet I still love you. Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't always agree with each other, right? But it's like, does that mean that we hate each other? And no, I don't think it should ever go that far. I heard a quote today, and I actually wrote it down on my blackboard. And it says, we must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. And that came from a journalist from the 1950s, Edward R. Morrow. We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. That basically means, in a nutshell, because I don't agree, that don't mean that I'm disloyal. I just don't agree, or I have a differing opinion of something, but that doesn't mean I'm disloyal. So, for example, because I don't subscribe to the FBA, I don't even know if ideology is the right word, because in a sense, I get what it is. That's because I don't subscribe to the terminology. Does not mean that I'm disloyal or I'm being a disloyal Black American. Does that make any sense? I'm just asking. Have you been deceived? That's a good name. How you doing? It says chill, fam. Stephen James, yeah, Black America. He be on here having to give me a hard time. Easy. And Tracy says African native incorrect. Easy says I grew up in town 3 hours northwest of Valdosta. All right, maybe we can. I don't know if anybody, too many people who know of Valdosta, right? When I went there in the 80s, it was like dirt roads and the houses were on steel. So I'm like, Ma, you was living over here? And apparently she was, right? Seth, how you doing? Okay, y'all saying FBA is not an organization. Okay. FBA Queen says those are not buckshots. They are tight curls, very tight curls, very. Damon says FBA is lineage-based delineation in effect. Okay. Kev J said, I thought FBA was just a description of a group. Okay. Jamal says, I got locked out. I was there. Marshall says, I always love your hair, especially when you wear it in an afro. I like the afro too. It's too hot for the afro now. It's too hot. It's like 90-some degrees, but y'all know humid is Houston is humid. When it's drier, I can wear the afro, but the afro will get on my nerves in this weather. But thank you. Okay, so I'm just looking to see some other comments. Shut up, Black America. And I'm not being mean. Black America does. I talk about I need a perm. Why I need a perm? Smokey says, sis, I seen a video of a Black doctor talking about that just for me stuff causing sister to have fibroid issues. My wife has to get a hysterectomy because of fibroids, and she used to use it. Your thoughts? Yeah. I mean, think about it. What's in that product? It's lye, right? Well, some of them is not lye, but it's the same thing. It's like a broken down form of lye. Now, lye is what they used to use back in the day. So most of y'all who saw Malcolm X and you saw him and Shorty, they had the lye in their hair to straighten, and it was just straight lye, right? So of course they mix it with other stuff. Relaxers, that's what it is. They used to have lye, but now they're saying that it don't. But it's like, then how's the hair getting straightened? It's got to have some form of lye. So you think about it, you're putting chemicals right on your scalp. Okay? Your scalp is what? It's skin. Your skin is what? It's an organ. It's the largest organ on your body. Your scalp is also closest to your head. So you're putting that chemicals, whatever it is, dye. That's partially why I don't even dye my hair. I should, right? But you're putting chemicals directly in your skin. Now your skin absorbs. And oftentimes, listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I know. But your organs often suck from your skin, especially if you're dehydrated and things like that. It'll suck water, moisture, and whatever else is in your skin into your organs. So thinking about that, it's not just hair stuff. It's the food, everything you put on your body. Like me, I try to be natural 100%, whether it's deodorant, whether it's oils on my skin, shampoo, shea butter, all that. I try not to do chemicals on my body at all because I know those things, right? But yeah, I can see why it would cause fibroids. Absolutely. Seth says foundational was just added to Black American because we built this country. Okay, but who added it? If y'all don't mind me asking. Stacy's LA, how you doing? Says it's a lineage. Okay, got you. African Native says FBA could also mean foundational Black African. Nah, you know damn well it don't mean that. Mad Dog says I'm American born. I'm Black American. I'm Black born American. Got you. Shaw says it's a lineage, not an organization. Okay. 48 TCO says no, it's a lineage that defines us from the common African or so-called Black immigrant. Okay. Brian says FBA is lineage based, not an organization. Got you. Deacon, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. Says we live in a community where the men grow longer hair than the chicks. You ain't lying. Because I've often seen women be like, hi, yay, these men growing their hair long. Because they just, get it washed, braided every 2 weeks. They do it over, right? They don't do a whole bunch of glue and weaves and all the other stuff in their hair. They just set it and forget it, right? Beverly says, Brother Phil on Emancipation Media said some of those wigs, the hair comes from dead people. They probably do. A hair is dead anyway, right? But yeah, I'd imagine it probably does, especially when they're getting it from other countries like India and stuff, where they have the women shave the hair off so they can sell it. Albie Chill, how you doing? Lisa Jackson, what's going on? It says FBA is a lineage, okay? All right, Brother Reggie, you be cool. I will see you tomorrow. We'll be here 5 p.m. Central Time. Who else haven't I seen? Black Wolf, did I say hello to you? It says it is what it says. Got you. Cute Ladybug, it says, FBA is a lineage replacing African American. Okay, yeah, and I agree with that. The term African American needing to be replaced because we've been here, especially if you have descendants here, we've been here for a very long time, right? Although I will speak for myself, I do have DNA from the motherland, but most of our family have been here long enough not to really count as African. So yeah, Patrick, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. The Huckleberry, how you doing? Says Dr. Claude Anderson been warning us for decades. Absolutely, he has. He absolutely has. Lance says FBA's lineage, okay? FBA. Tracy, I see your comment, but I don't know what that means. You're saying he flip-flopped in front of all of you. What does that mean? And I'm actually staying over a little bit of time because I kind of want to give this a tiny bit of a discussion because I've seen a lot of the comments and I'm like, yikes. 48 TCL says it's a specific lineage that defines us from the average African or Caribbean or so-called Black immigrant, and started with the disrespect on Twitter, and Black Americans, aka FBA, responded. Okay, but I'm asking to see where the term actually came from. Who named it FBA? That's what I'm trying to ask. I'm just, I'm asking because I'm curious. Lisa says, and I know, but I want to see if, how you guys define that. Lisa says, we are the descendants of those enslaved in the U.S. Absolutely. Biz says, it separates us from the others trying to use our struggle for the purpose FBA is taken away for the label African American. Absolutely. Yeah, and as y'all said, Dr. Claude Anderson has been talking about that for a very long time. But I don't remember him saying FBA, though. So that's why I'm asking where the term came from. Mrs. Richard said the descendants of chattel slavery. Robin, how you doing? Says, I know Valdosta. Okay, there's 3 people that know Valdosta. Michael, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jamal says, I'm 54. Me too. Says, I'm 54, was shaving my head, cut a hole in my head, stopped shaving and grew my hair, and now have locks. You could grow your hair with vitamins, herbs, and oils. That is absolutely true. You can grow your hair back, but you have to stop damaging your scalp. A lot of people won't stop doing it. Like if you see you getting some little plugs in your scalp, stop braiding your hair. Balding happens from inflammation and stuff like that, right? But you got some people, I want to keep getting my hair braided. I'm going to braid all my edges up. And it's like you got 3 pieces of hairpin. You putting a braid on that? Like, stop, And like you said, you massage it, put oils, keep your scalp clean, and don't do too much. But, people like what they like, even if it causes balding. Okay, here we go. The Huckleberry says it's simply a lineage. She's being disingenuous and intentionally obtuse. One thing I ain't never got to do is lie to you because I don't know you. Okay, just being honest with you. I don't have to lie to people I do not know. If I'm asking a question, it's because I'm asking it. See, unlike you, I'm not involved in it like that. Like I said, I'm focusing on other things. I'm not involved with the FBA lineage, as you guys have said, to the degree that you guys are. So if I'm asking, it's because I'm trying to gain an understanding. But I ain't never got a lie to a person I don't know. Just make sure you jot that down. Respectfully. Alfred, how you doing? Says Roland is right. We are starting with and the Democrats. Okay. Black Wolf says, why not subscribe? You mean why not subscribe? Oh, y'all don't want me to get into that. I don't have time to get into that. One day, I might make time. I just don't want to do it now because I'm just kind of spent. I've been up since really like 4 o'clock this morning. And I don't want it to come off as disrespectful because I know how you guys feel about it. And so I want to be careful of the things that I say. Again, never to be disrespectful. So I'll just kind of leave it at that for now. But and not just FBA, I will never subscribe to a lot of things. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've been that way since I can remember. Even in high school, I was friends with everybody, right? I didn't have a clique per se. I hung out with just this people. I was in choir, I was in track, I was in jazz on the jazz team. So I did a lot of things, right? I was a president of the Black Student Union. I started it at our school because we didn't have one, right? So I know a lot of people from different things, but I never was one to say, oh, I'm only with this organization. That's why I don't go to church. I'm not religious per se to the point to where I subscribe to a religion because I know a whole bunch of religions. Y'all know I was born into the Nation of Islam. Daddy been in FOI since he's 1981 years old now, right? But I also spent some time in the church. In fact, both of my degrees come from a Christian university. I don't tell people that, but I got 2 degrees from a Christian university. So I'm one of those people I just kind of like keep to myself and not plug into a lot of stuff, but I've always been that way. So it's not just because it's FBA per se, but it's just I've been like that with a lot of stuff, just, to be honest. Black America, you says you don't like different points of view. That's why you don't open your panel. No, I just don't open my panel because I will, but not because I just don't like to deal with a lot of the foolishness. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean? Seth, he says FBA come from Dr. Claude Anderson and Tariq Nasheed. Okay, got you. FBA Queen says FBA are the descendants of Black individuals who were enslaved in the United States, representing a lineage that connects them to historical struggles and contributions of their ancestors. Got you. I'm just reading some of your comments. One unique Monique, it says Tariq Nasheed started the FBA to differ us from African Americans like Elon Musk, right? Because Elon is African American. 48 TCO, he says, Miss Demetra, I gave you the definition and why it started in the comments. I got it. I read it. I thought I read it. King Charles says FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans, meaning non-immigrants. Yeah, so I know what it stands for. Just kind of reading through the comments. Agent Black says, I don't know who said Brother Phil was not FBA. He has claimed FBA several times on this program. But I mean, even if he doesn't use the term FBA, isn't it the premise that you are Black American and you have lineage here, as y'all say? So how is he not Black American? How is he not FBA per se? See, and that's part of it. Just being honest with y'all. That's why I don't subscribe to it, because I don't like I don't like that part of it. Does it make sense? It's giving. I want to be careful. Not saying that it is, but I'm saying when I hear stuff like that, because let me be careful. Are y'all familiar with McCarthyism? Are y'all familiar with the Salem witch trials? And I'm asking for a reason. Let me skip all the way to the bottom so I can see you guys' comments. Cynthia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who else haven't I seen? Nona, what's going on with you? Okay, he's talking about somebody who does natural hair. Pam is jamming. How you doing? So Dr. Claude Anderson said that Blacks are foundational to America. Hence, Tariq Nasheed started with the words foundational Black Americans. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to the bottom, y'all, but I'm just kind of reading you guys' comments on the way down. Hi, Di. How you doing? Says FBA, foundational Black Americans, were descendants of slaves who built this country. That part I know. Just kind of skip it down. Oh, you like that fan? It's actually my daughter's. I stole it from her. Mo Bay, how you doing? Long time no see. Norman says Jesse Jackson really effed up with African American. Yeah, from what I understand, he's the one that came up with the term. Jay, how you doing? Thank you so much. Says FBA is an organization that has a copyright. Has a copyright? Agent Black says, to be honest, Demetra, I know Tariq Nasheed take credit for the line, but he himself has to admit that he didn't come up with it. It was from someone many years ago, like the 1940s or 50s. Okay. Trace says, Demetra, our DNA from over there isn't being excluded. Okay. Just looking for comments. I haven't seen flashback. How you doing? Says Indians shave their curses and bad karma off, and blacks put it on their crown, their chakra. Ooh, you said something right there. Yeah, if they because a lot of people do that, right? They're like, I just want to shave my hair off and just kind of start over, you know. But to that point, if they're shaving it off because it's negative to them, the negative energy, ew, that is kind of creepy. Now that you put it like that, yes. All right. Skipping down, Brother Sammy says, think about it. They put lie in your hair and tell you it's permanent when it's only lasts temporary. I remember my grandmother used to make lye soap. Ooh, lye soap sounds painful. Ugh. You know what, Black America? K Brown, how you doing? Okay, so y'all saying that it was Tariq, but then some people are saying that it was Dr. Claude Anderson, born critic. How you doing? Says Jamaican, Caribbean, African, Asian all have trademarks. Stop being loopy and look it up. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking. Raymond, how you doing? Says I believe Tariq coined the term FBA. Got you. GG2. How you doing? Says Tariq Nasheed is the first person I heard to coin FBA. Kai, how you doing? Says Tariq. Okay, so y'all saying Tariq. Okay, so I'm skipping down to the bottom. Mahaya, how you doing? Says I looked it over. AI, the term Foundation of Black America, was popularized by Tariq Nasheed. So you're saying AI told you that? Okay. We know how to go to AI, don't we? Jay, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. The Huckleberry, I don't even know what you're talking about. One thing I'm not going to do is argue. I at this point, I don't even know what you're talking about. Just reading y'all comments. Angela, how you doing? Thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you, and welcome. Okay, Jamal, I see your comment. I guess you want me to respond to that. I'm not going to respond to that. I don't even know how to respond to that. Because what is it? You keep saying that he's flip-flopping, but you're not saying why. You just keep saying that. So are you trying to be incendiary, or are you really trying to draw a point or a conclusion? Like, what is it that you're trying to say? Because that's like the third time you put that in there. Yeah, I did see that, Sherry. I saw that. All right, so let me skip down to the question that I asked. I'm finna, no, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? He says, I'm late, but we'll rewatch. FBA must always remember, do not allow the U.S. government to use FBA for its domestic and foreign policy. FBA must have its own foreign and domestic policy. Got you. Marjorie says, you good, Demetri K. is new to you, and I understand thoroughly. Well, the term is not new to me. Like I said, I'm not that involved in it. I guess if I were part of the lineage, whatever it is, I probably would be a little bit more inclined to educate myself on. I'm just not. So that has a lot to do with it. Of course, I hear the term a lot. I see it on the internet and things like that, but I'm not involved. So yeah, just a lot of things I don't know. And that's by design, I will say. Michael says to Rec. He says to Rec, she did not start SBA. He says Yvette Cornell did along with another. Joanne, she didn't start SBA. SBA or FBA? Okay, Tracy. Yeah, he has used the term FBA. He has. Normie said, I'm with Demetri on this. Easy said politics set up for y'all. That's what it is, the politics. I just, I just don't get involved in a lot of that. You crazy, Deacon. Di, how you doing? I hope I said that right. They may. He said Dr. Claude Anderson coined Native Black America, so Tariq changed it to Foundation of Black America for FBA for short. Got you. Facts Not Feelings says be careful and not to have U.S. government use FBA label for its propaganda and purposes. Is a U.S. government starting to use it? I know I've seen some people on the news and stuff use the term. Sounds like maybe the census may be doing something with it. BMG, how you doing? Says Dr. Claude Anderson dubbed the term Native Black Americans, and Tariq revised it to Foundational Black Americans. Okay, because that's what I said. I don't ever recall hearing Dr. Claude Anderson say Foundational Black Americans, but there's some people saying it did. But I do remember Black Native Americans. That I do. Teddy on politics, how you doing? Says FBA is a misnomer. It's a label that is unsuitably applies to African Americans. There was no Black Americans at the founding of America. But I get it though. It's like most of us, generationally speaking, aren't connected to Africa in that way, right? See, like if we maybe were first generation, second, or even third, but most of us have lineage that go way, 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 way back. So that I get. FBA Queen says, I don't hate other Black cultures, but everyone is trying to cosplay Black Americans. Yeah, they've been doing that. Everybody has been doing it. Everybody has been doing that. 48 TCO says, because now immigrants, Mr. Mitra, are claiming to be Black American while still disrespecting us and going against our reparations and justice. Yeah, that I know. Jamal says, California starts a lot of the trends. California starts the world. California will make you stand up for your rights. Okay. Agent Black says, I completely understand, Demetra, why you feel that way. But honestly, I think it's the community that has turned something that was meant to be innocent into a clique or a club. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it's not anything against the lineage. I just never subscribe to a lot of stuff. I roll alone a lot, kind of, sort of. All right, Michael, you said you're familiar with both McCarthyism and the Salem witch trials. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So facts not feeling, you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going. I'm just looking to see who else. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? Dorian, what's going on with you? Yes, everybody's been telling me it's a lineage. Okay, I'm just looking. Lisa says, in order to receive reparations, we FBA must identify as a solid group. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Lisa. A lot of Black Americans won't, because they don't like a lot of the stuff that is attached to it. They just don't. And I'm kind of one of those people. I don't want to hitch my wagon to something that has a lot going on other than, organizing, unifying, all that other stuff. So yeah, I think a lot more people probably would, but admittedly, there's a lot of things that is kind of, no, I'm not gonna do that, Enlightened says FBA is an identifier for the purpose of our lineage and history and for reparations for us specifically. Yeah, but again, what was we calling ourselves before? Sans the term African American. What were we calling ourselves before? Y'all said, Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Native American. What's wrong with that term? And again, I'm just asking. David, he says, love all this separation, which we were supposed to be doing that anyway. Delineation is not a new call. It's new to a lot of people who are just not hearing about it. But we've been asked to separate for a very, very long time. And it's to a point where we don't have any choice but to separate, right? So it's not a new thing. Delineation is not new. IUIC says, fulfillment by Amazon FBA. FBA is a service offered by Amazon where sellers can outsource their order fulfillment to Amazon. You better stop. Deacon says, Tariq bought the rights to the foundation of Black American. He bought it, things that make you go, When you say he bought it, what do you mean that he bought it? Cute Ladybug says, FBA is not an organization. Okay, I got that. All right, let me see. Just reading. Benny says reparations cannot be granted based on race, which is discriminatory. However, lineage-based, the harm and damage can be disputed. That was explained by Dr. Anderson. Absolutely. Albie Chill says, Tariq said he got it from Dr. Anderson. Okay, got you. I've heard, Tracy, I've heard of people shaving their hair like a lot, especially people maybe have locks, like, I just want to start over. People shaving their hair for that. But yeah, that they put it in those terms. Yeah, that's what you're doing. And people are shaving off their hair because they feel like it's negative and they want a fresh start. Why would you put that on your hair? I'm just saying, and it just really hit me. It's like one of those aha moments, epiphany, some people would say. Jim, he says, is this the same Roland Martin that bug dancing with Hillary? That's him. That is him. Shorts, how you doing? Says Roland is right. We have to stop listening to liars. Well, the grassroots starts with you, liar. So you talk about Roland. H. McDaniels, how you doing? Says, I think that foundational is because there were Blacks already here. I could say that for myself because great grandma was Blackfoot Indian. Got you. And Tracy say Yvette started ADOS, not FBA. She didn't even start ADOS. ADOS has been around for a long time. ADOS is not a new term either. It's been around for a while. I want to say I've heard about it in the 90s. So, you know, something, maybe it's a resurgence of it. I don't know, but ADOS is not a new term either. Yes, Black Wolf, Roland is a liar. Hey, Norris, how you doing? Says, what does being FBA change? We're trying to get off the bottom. I'll let them answer that. Who else? I'm getting all the way to the bottom. Sully, how you doing? Says, let's keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen. ADOS is a political group like APAC, except their focus is on reparations for Black Americans who could trace their lineage to chattel slavery within the U.S., okay? Sounds like that's what FBA is too. The Huckleberry says, keep saying subscribe like it's a club. Either you are or you aren't. She checking our temperature to report back to the DNC. Watch this. You gone. Now you can report that back. And I was going to say something else, but I'm going to be nice. Maxwell, how you doing? Says, what's attached to it? We actually made it ourselves. Teddy on politics says, Black folks outside of America are fighting for their own reparations, not trying to appropriate African Americans' reparations. Okay. Enlightened says, we was called Negroes, colored, Black, and African American. Yep. Dorian says, it's acknowledging our lineage. If folks are offended by it, then it's because they are not that lineage and can latch on to it. That I get. Pamela Jammin says, here's our term, BKA by words, Negro, colored, Black, Black, African American. My birth certificate says Negro on it. Mine says Black. Mine says Black. My mama's and daddy said Negro though. Mine says Black. Serious Raw, how you doing? Says Black immigrants been cosplaying FBA. That's why it's important for our own separate identity to make sure we get what we should to our group, not to immigrants by mistake. That I understand. All right. Got your self-preservation. Says Simply American is the name I thought the petition was about. You telling me something? Just skipping down. Herschel says, I think some people will have a problem with Black people no matter what we call ourselves. That we know for sure. Kaya says, my birth certificate reads Negro. Okay. Mad Dog said, just cut my check. African Native says, all the knowledge of school system and writings were destroyed by Europeans. Okay. All right. I got to the bottom. Greg says, my great grandma says Black Native American. There you go. Jamal says, most of our people won't fight. It's only a few. Well, I'm glad that I made you laugh, Pam. But I will say this. Yeah, Brother Reg, walk the dog and all kind of stuff. And I'm leaving though. We kind of just got off into some other conversations about FBA, if you will. But I asked a question about McCarthyism and the Salem witch trials, because as I hear certain things, not necessarily FBA, a lot of things, even with MAGA, right? Those terms or those situations keep coming to my mind. Now, McCarthyism was from Joseph McCarthy. He was a senator in the 1950s who basically was accusing people of being a communist, right? A sympathizer to Russia. The Red Scare is what they called it. Entertainers, celebrities, politicians, you name it, they all got caught up into that, right? Even to the tune of people taking their lives because their lives were destroyed. Some of y'all might remember the actor, you weren't there, obviously, but Charlie Chaplin. His career got derailed because he was accused of being a communist, right? And McCarthy, that was his thing, right? Wasn't really popular, doing very well, although at the time he was the youngest senator in history. So he was kind of really trying to make his way. So he started that. Oh, they're communists. Oh, they're communists. I mean, he accused presidents, Truman, all kind of people, right? And then it kind of got to a breaking point where he started accusing the army, and people were like, okay, wait a minute, because everybody was believing it, right? Oh my God, they are people. I'm telling you, lives were destroyed. People were taking their lives, all kind of stuff. And then when he started to accuse the army, certain people in it talking about, oh, you got, how dare you politicians allow these communists in the army? And so then people started saying, okay, wait a minute now, wait, what? Huh? So it took the reporter, the journalist that I was telling y'all about, Edward Morrow, it took him to take him down. Now he went on TV, and really just brought him down. It was like, this and that is going on, blah, blah, blah. And it totally derailed McCarthy. But a lot of damage had been done, right? So reason why that comes to my mind is because all you have to do is insinuate that somebody is or is not. And then people, and this is no shade to nobody, right? So please don't take it this way. That kind of stuff works on the weak and people who don't think, period, okay? If you're weak and you don't think, somebody could tell you, oh, they do this or they that. Oh, yeah, let's ride at dawn. Instead of saying, wait a minute. As I said, y'all know one of my favorite classes is philosophy because it basically asks, how do you know? Okay? Before you get me to ride at dawn against somebody, I need to know why. I made a post today and I said, who put the key in the back of the person who put the key in your back? And why did they do it? Are you interested in knowing why they operate the way they do and why they're telling you to operate the way you're supposed to operate? But this is nothing new. Okay, now we're going to go back to the 1600s. And now we wasn't there. Okay, but in Winston-Salem, they had this thing called the witch trials. Some kids, for whatever reason, got to freaking out, and people thought that they were bewitched, if you will, or taken over by demons, the devil. And so they started naming people. Oh, it's this person, it's that person, it's this person. Now, they were two parts of towns, families really, right? And it was kind of like a war over the land. So there's a lot of speculation as to why this even happened. But during these witch trials, people, innocent people, right? Because obviously we know it was a lie, but innocent people were hung by the neck from kids, really saying, oh, it's them. They're telling me to do this. Oh, they're making me do this, that, and the other. And adults went along with it. Now, some people will argue that it was originally, due to a land grab, because once they take your life, they could take your land, especially if you were to say, okay, I'm guilty, or if you pled, right? If you took a plea, I'm guilty or not guilty, depending on what the judges, because they didn't have a jury at the time, the judges decided they take your life and then they could take your land, right? That was tied to it. So I think of these things because of the times that we're living in, and they say history kind of repeats itself. We're at the point to where people really, again, it's no shade to nobody, won't think. They won't think like, why do you want me to feel this way? And is it okay that I don't feel this way? As Mr. Morrow said, we must not confuse dissent with being disloyal. I can not agree with you, but why are you accusing me of being something I'm not because I don't agree with you? See, that's how we get into dangerous territory when we start labeling people because I don't believe the way you do. There's a lot of things that I do that I'm not mad at other people because they don't like. You just don't like what I like. And I don't like what you like, but that don't mean I don't like you. You're allowed to have the way you feel. Now, of course, if the way you feel leads to actions that's harmful to people, then that's a different story. But I'm never going to hate you because you don't believe the way I do. It's okay. Right? Like I said, I don't go to church, but oftentimes people ask me why they want to put me on a hot seat. Why you ain't got a church home? Why? That's none of your business, first of all. But I just don't. I spend a lot of time in some sort of church or something. I spent hours upon hours in the mosque with my father. I don't hate both of them. I just don't want to belong to any. Right now, I can believe in the teachings that I've learned from everything, but because I don't actively go to any of those places, that don't mean I'm a heathen, although some people would think that I'm a heathen. Oh, you don't go to church? Because we know most of the heathens are in the church, but I probably said too much. And yes, somebody said cancel culture. That's what it is. It's cancel culture. Oh, well, I heard they don't like this and they don't, we going to do this and we going to write. Why? Why do we feel like we have the right to label and demonize people because they don't believe the way you believe? Now, as I've said, and yes, Albie Chill, it is social engineering. As y'all hear Donovan talk about a lot, Operation Mockingbird. We need to really, I'm one of those people, I like to study stuff and not liking anybody to this. And I just really have to preface things that I say because I know somebody on here is going to run away with it. I study cults. Now, I'm not an expert in cults, but I think I know enough of how they work. Churches are cults, right? Most things that you subscribe to can be looked at as a cult. Now, Some people say, well, all cults aren't bad, and I agree with that. But to me, what is the cult doing, and what is the purpose, and why do you need me to divorce my common sense to become a member? Because any cult that you've seen before and you've watched, you've seen, sorry, picked up my fan. You've seen people completely throw common sense out of the window. They no longer think for themselves, right? Now, I see somebody in here talking about wrong. I don't even know what that means. I often use the example of Jim Jones, right? The People's Temple. And he took most of us, as a lot of us, not most of us, he took a lot of black people with him. For some reason, people thought he was black. If you look at him, especially if you look at a black and white picture, maybe he's ambiguous, but he's a white man from Louisiana, right? He had that southern drawl and all of that. Now, of course, a lot of people told them before they were going to Guyana, don't go, something ain't right, it's a cult, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Many people sold all their property, everything, gave it to them. We're leaving because America hates us, which that's partially true, right? We're leaving. But then, when people woke up, y'all know when they woke up and they realized, oh, I should have listened. When they had that pew-pew pointed at their head and they was being told to drink that cyanide. That's when they believed, like, oh, man, I should have listened. There's a story that came out of it. It was a brother. He said when they found his mama's body, because she went and everybody told her not to go. When they found his mama's body, every joint in her body was dislocated. And you know why every joint was dislocated? Because she was fighting like hell not to drink that Kool-Aid. But by that time, she realized it was too late to where fighting, all of her joints were dislocated. Because then she was like, oh, snap. I should have listened, right? So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, and this is kind of where I've always been this way, just think for yourself. You cannot concede common sense and your ability to think to anybody. That's what gives you the ability to make good decisions, and sometimes bad, right? Sometimes we make bad decisions, but the learning is in the bad decisions sometimes. But when you give control of your mind, I'm not talking about your brain, but you give control of your mind to somebody else or something else, then you might as well just lay down. You know what I mean? Because you don't need your mind no more. Everybody else is doing the thinking for you. So you have to learn how to think for yourself. But if you can't think for yourself, don't demonize anybody else who knows how to think for themselves. That's all I'm saying. So I hope that I didn't step on no toes. I didn't mean to. Certain conversations I try to be careful of having because, I'm observant. I see how people work. And I want to say this too. I kind of get sad, especially in 2025, when I see so many people, not even just Black Americans, but just people in general, just like, I'm not going to think for myself no more. Well, what had happened was somebody told me because somebody told them and somebody told them. And so that's what it is. Oh, yeah? How do you know? Because they told me. And you know who that they is? That they is the society of they. That's what I call them, the society of they. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows who the they is, but everybody will bring up they. They'll blame they. They told me. Well, I don't know. That's what they said. Who is they? Why did they say that? Why did they do that? How did they come to that conclusion? I don't know. So what you mean to tell me is you allow somebody to hijack your brain, in some cases your amygdala, right? Your emotions, but you not just your whole thought. You let somebody have that. And you didn't ask, why do you want it and what you gonna do with it? See, that's where we are now. That's why, as a society, regardless of what it is, whether it's politics, it's race, it's gender, it's whatever you name it, that's why we are where we are. Because people feel like, oh, I gotta be a Democrat. I gotta be a Republican. And if you ain't a Democrat and you ain't a Republican, then when you you can't come to Thanksgiving because you voted for Trump. Why? Why I can't come getting no dry ass turkey and some, cranberry sauce because I voted the way I did. What does that got to do with you? Why are you mad at me because I exercised what I thought was best for me? So that's all I'm saying. We got to get to the point where we start thinking again. Make thinking great again. Y'all like that? Make thinking great again. Because if we don't think, nothing else matters. Nothing. Now, I know I probably stepped on some toes and made some people mad, and I didn't mean to. It's never my objective to try to offend people, because I know that's a lot of that going on nowadays. That's never my point to that. I just want us to think. That's all I'm saying. Just think. So anyway, Marcellus, how you doing? Keandra, how you doing? I appreciate y'all for that. And I know, and Wendell, how you doing? Ian, how you doing? I just, like I said, we're all a work in progress. I'm not perfect. Trust me. I'm not. Okay. I'm not perfect at all. 48 TCO saw me today at Walmart. I was looking broke, busted, and disgusted. But I was at the gym, right? But I'm just saying, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together. As my brother says, he has a saying that says also going through it, right? A lot of times y'all see us on here, and especially, and don't ever call me an influencer, I'm not. But a lot of times you see people on here, you think, oh, they're so perfect. They got it all together. Hell to the no. It's most people on here who don't got it together. When they log off, they trying to figure out how they going to make ends meet. Or, whatever it is they got going on that they don't want you to know they got going on. But at the end of the day, let's all think. Always start with, how do you know? Or how do I know? If you could start with that question, how do you know? Then you'll get to where you need to go instead of saying, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to tell somebody else that. Write it down. I'm going to go tell somebody else that. And now you got a whole bunch of confused people out there. That's how people drank Kool-Aid. That's how they found a whole bunch of people in bunk beds wearing Nikes and a whole bunch of other stuff because nobody asked, how do you know? See, the people who asked, how do you know? They was like, yeah, no, thank you. You can't come up in here. Because they knew that person that was asking questions was going to have everybody else asking questions, and their little thing, whatever it is they had going on, wasn't going to fly. So anyway, I do love and appreciate every last one of y'all, and thank y'all so much. I hope that helps. I'll be back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting. And if y'all like to continue having this discussion, we can, because I just want to make sure we come to an understanding. Never meant to cause any confusion or any of that. So I do love and appreciate every last one of y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.